Welcome to the Energy Hour. The Energy Hour is brought to you by Quality Home Improvement, Southern California's premier residential and commercial contractor, making homes and businesses energy efficient, one building at a time.
Hey Rob, what's going on?
How you doing, Chris?
You know, it is Tuesday, June 25th.
Yes.
Here we are at the end of this month.
Yeah.
And so many things have happened. You know, I mean, there's things that we even think about that, you know, just go by as a blur.
Oh, yeah.
And then you've heard a couple things. I had a couple things come out.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll talk about those briefly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the main topic today is this horrible thing called plastics.
Yeah, plastics is, it's definitely a big topic that I don't think is getting enough attention.
And I'm not talking about, you know, toys and stuff like that. I'm talking about environmental issues.
We're not talking about plastic surgery down on Rodeo Drive. We're talking about plastics.
Even though 1 million breast implants put into the ocean could cause an effect.
Yeah, luckily they're not so disposable, so that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even straws.
Oh my God!
Saw a whole special even
See
on that.
That turtle with the straw in its nose.
It got millions of views, didn't it, or something? I mean, it's like I saw that and
crazy.
I cringed the whole time. It's really sad, But a couple things we saw before, because we're going to jump into that.
Yep.
But I just thought this was interesting. You know, solar and so forth is really global, and we're really quite far behind. Just saw on my.
You think?
Yeah, I just saw on my Twitter feed that in Mexico, in Chihuahua Desert, northern Mexico, they just set a record for installing 18,990 solar panels in one day. One day.
That's insane.
Okay. The total size of this property is like 2,200 football fields.
Oh my gosh.
They anticipate finishing it possibly by the end of the year with 2 million panels powering 1.3 million homes.
Now that's progress, man.
That's a lot of progress.
And that
right
was,
there.
And
then so you look at Mexico. I mean, you look at
that's
all these
determination.
Yeah.
These are countries outside of the United States
that are seeing the value of repowering their grid.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why we talk about solar too. We're saying, look, if some of our utilities here are not that innovative or creative or can't get beyond their current model, you can and become your own utility.
So the government in Mexico, not Mexico City, but Mexico in a whole,
right,
saw something, and they are contributing to the cause.
It's fantastic. I mean,
so if you look at this big blue marble outside of, Zambia, right, New Guinea, and little silent places that we can't even say or spell,
right,
that are not participating, not because they can't, because they don't have the resources to do so. These other prominent countries like Mexico, China, I think China is the most produced solar in the world.
And then you're going to have the largest solar farm.
And they're using a bejesus amount of solar panels.
Absolutely. And then the largest solar farm supposedly is going to be in Saudi Arabia. So
Saudi Arabia.
Your oil producers are sitting there also taking a look at, they're going to have the largest farm, period, in the world. I mean, it's really expanding. It's great.
They have like the biggest building on the planet now? Why not just put up the biggest solar farm?
Absolutely.
On the desert.
Yeah. But it's really great to see these things happen.
They get a lot of sun there, don't they?
Yeah. And it's,
Mexico,
absolutely.
Really? 2 million solar panels.
So they're going to power 1.3 million homes is the goal. It's fantastic.
Hey, by the way, any integrator, any EPC that's out there that's looking for solar panels, make sure you contact me, Rob, or Curtis. We definitely have a unlimited, I think, 400 megawatts?
Something like that, yeah. It's pretty
supply of solar panels. And we'll let you know more if you give us a jingle.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And speaking of that, we are starting to get replies to, sometimes when we talk, we're saying, hey, if you have ideas or topics or, maybe you had difficulties in the market with contractors or solar providers, to give us a holler. We're starting to get those emails in. So rest assured, we're going to be either emailing you back or calling you if there's a phone number. We want to hear your story. We want to hear what you want to talk about, and we're going to get to those.
We just got one off LinkedIn.
Yeah.
This lady's name, of course,
I wouldn't say anyone's name.
Okay, yeah, all right.
But she has a story about
scammers
in the
on
marketplace.
the internet, in the marketplace, and she's going to exploit them.
Yeah, and I think that's really important for us because
fantastic.
We've seen that happen, and one of the biggest reasons we're doing this is to arm you with knowledge and to protect you, because in any business, any industry, there's unscrupulous people.
You want to take the hammer out.
Yeah, we're trying to show you how to see who those people are.
And you know what? Wouldn't it be a good idea, I think, maybe to create a page, if we can exploit these guys and kind of give people awareness?
I think you could almost create it yourself. Chris is someone that blows my mind all the time when we're talking about solar in the industry. He knows everyone.
Come on now.
No, I mean, seriously. He knows everyone from the little guy that tried to start up something to the guys that, had SunPower before it was called SunPower. I mean, he's been around so long in this industry that we probably could put that list together, because we really do need to protect people out there, and that's one of our big aims. But
I think one of the most important lists that I really want to participate in is, how many times a day do you get a robocall or something through artificial intelligence? I hear people...
Over half my calls are.
Every day on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I don't know what's going on with this virtual assistant program in the Philippines. Now they're suckering all these people in the Philippines to get a graduate degree or some type of certificate that says, hey, I graduated. All they're doing, I think that's I don't know. I think that's a scam.
There's a lot of scams. And quite honestly, I wish I was as popular in real life as I am with the robocallers.
Guys are selling data.
I get more calls from robocalls than my family and friends. So
that's sad, man.
The day that I'm as popular with them as I am with a robocaller, I'll be famous.
I literally have probably 1,000 block numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I feel sorry for the guy in the future that gets a number from that blocked group of numbers that I blocked, and they want to be my friend. It's just like,
and as we know,
sorry, Chris doesn't want to hear from you.
And as we know,
anymore.
the problem is you can go block those numbers, but they're just it's a rotary type thing, so it just moves to the next number, and they could be calling you from Ohio one day, Georgia the next day, or the next minute. So it's really hard to get away. We need to crack down on that for sure.
I just go ahead and I just let it go to voicemail.
Yeah.
And if it's worthy, they'll leave a voicemail. And if it's not, I'll just delete you.
Absolutely.
Put you on my crap list anyways.
And then our worthy topic today is plastics. And I think, okay, so there's a couple things that came up that caught my attention. And they're kind of mind-boggling. We saw, I think a few weeks back or a month or so ago, there were 414 million pieces of plastic that washed up on islands outside of like the Australia and the South Pacific.
Only 414 million?
Yeah. So, that's staggering, right?
That's stupid. That's crazy.
And I thought that had to be the most staggering number right here. And then guess what? It was topped.
No.
Because there's a report that predicts plastic in the ocean will outweigh fish by 2050.
What's going on, man? Did you see that video that I shared on LinkedIn? Mm-hmm. It was some other LinkedIn member shared this really cool video, and I couldn't wait to put it on my profile. Mm-hmm. It was about the UK is sending over 100% of their recyclables because they were thinking that they were going to do something worthy with them.
Right.
To find out, they only process 15% of 100% of the garbage that goes over to somewhere like Malaysia.
Right.
And this video, you got to go to my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch.
I'm just like...
I think one of the staggering things, too, was...
millions of little itty-bitty pieces.
Yeah, the individual that was from the UK that was investigating this...
Oh, he was blown away.
Well, he totally felt duped and outraged because where he comes from, they're sitting there recycling, thinking they're doing something good. And then,
they give everybody these recycle bins.
Yeah, we got the bins, right?
You got them, right?
Absolutely. So when you put it in there, your mind is, okay, I'm doing something good. They're going to appropriately deal with that. I'm contributing at least less to this entire waste issue that we have. And then he travels there and sees, no, there's the stuff you put in the bin, and it hasn't really done anything, and now it's just polluting another country. You
know what I'd like to do? I think you and I should do some investigative reporting and go to like Burtec Waste or one of these big, chains, and actually see the end result, what happens at the end, so we can make a comparison here.
Yeah.
All I know is that the UK is full of crap, and whatever they're doing over there, they're lying to their citizens.
Well, I think this,
and poor Malaysia.
And that expose really showed it. And this was this was a very good, honest, straightforward guy that just investigated it.
He was blown away.
And very saddened and felt, really bad because
he felt deceived.
He felt deceived. That's a good word, because he felt like, hey, we're doing something that's good, and then the outcome wasn't. And we all know recycling is phenomenal if it's done correctly.
Yep.
But I think one of the things we got to look at is first of all, not just dealing with the waste, but not creating it in the first place.
There's a company you're going to talk about later.
Yeah,
on
I just saw
show,
this thing. Yeah,
talking about putting the right things in the right place.
So
I support guys like this.
Yeah, because what I really support is I like disruptors.
Oh yeah, bring it on.
All right, Marshall Thurber is just an absolute genius. If you ever get a chance, look him up. But he talks about being a positive deviant.
I love it.
And a positive deviant is actually where most of our innovations happen. And it's where disruptors come from. Elon Musk, he's a positive deviant.
He's my buddy.
People like that, right? Whether you like his businesses or not or whatever, this guy is, and whether they succeed or not, he's forged new markets where people said, you're crazy, a full electric car, you're nuts. And
he's got a truck now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But it's like what Steve Jobs said in their advertisement way back, is that, here's to the crazy ones, you know. The square pegs in the round holes.
What are the innovators?
Yeah, and the thing is it's these people that actually, the people crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do. All right, so these are the disruptors. And so one of the things is we've got all this waste, but I'm a big person on cause and effect, right?
Yep.
So the effect is the waste, but it's not the cause. You get what I mean? So you've got to, we can keep trying to bury all this waste in a giant big hole, or we can find out what's the cause. How can we possibly not generate it in the first place? And that's where this one company with cleaning supplies and so forth.
Beautiful company, man.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and you mentioned this earlier, couldn't we make something biotech instead of plastics itself? That if something plastic or something of that relation actually got into the environment, it would biodegrade?
Yeah, and there's a lot of crazy technology out there. One of the things I saw, I don't know, did you see the water pods?
No.
All right, I'll get a link. We'll put it up.
Nice.
Okay. So it's basically, it looks like a clear bubble of water, maybe less than a golf ball size, let's say.
No kidding.
So the water's inside.
Okay.
But if you popped it in your mouth, the whole thing can just degrade.
Oh, no way.
Okay. So if you squeeze the water in, the outside container part of it would just biodegrade in a very short period of time. It's not like a plastic on a bottle or anything like that. Or they're looking at having where the actual bubble is ingestible because it's basically just a different structure of water. Crazy things like that. I remember when I was a kid and I went to this one.
Say goodbye to bottled water.
Well, yeah, and that again, that goes back to treating the cause, right?
That's the premise, right?
Because the effect, we could throw money at the effect all we want. We can dig bigger holes all we want, but the problem is we got to change our delivery system.
Yeah.
And that's the cause. It's just like like cancer, in many respects. You can treat the cancer, but really you got to treat the cause, right?
That just makes sense.
So, but yeah, that's just kind of an incredible thing that I was seeing. But I came across this one that I talked to you about yesterday. Called Truman's. Check it out. And it's we'll even throw it up on our link.
You think they named it after the president, maybe?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what's really cool about it is, look, so the idea is we go to Target, we go to our grocery stores, and we buy cleaning supplies.
All the time.
Countertop cleaning supplies, window cleaning supplies, right?
I must have like 25 under my sink in my kitchen.
Right? Okay, and supposedly there's something like 57 different... They quote 57 different kind of cleaning supplies on an average shelf.
57?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Do we need 57?
No, and so here's the thing, though. What, in all of those bottles that we see...
Jesus, 57.
What is the number one ingredient? What makes up the most volume in that bottle?
Oh, I already know that one.
Right, it's water.
Water.
So why are we shipping water? Okay, so what they've come up with is...
Yeah.
So in their starter kit, you get the bottle, and you get the spray can, and then what you get on top of that is you get cartridges. So these little cartridges just screw down on the top.
Okay.
You put the water in yourself. Okay. Put the water in the bottle.
Just right from the tap.
Put the cartridge in. Close up the screw top with the spray on it. And now all of a sudden you have you have your cleaning products, and they have 4 different kinds. But what's really cool about it is you don't have to have that extra bottle being shipped all the time, that extra water. So what they're showing is if 5% of the people on the planet just moved to a product like this, all right?
Amazing.
You would save 4 billion pounds of water from being shipped and 300 million pounds of plastic.
Wow.
5% of people. So the cool thing is the product looks great. It's definitely not got all the harsh chemicals as well, which is another nice thing to it. But here's someone who thought out of the box and says, look, I don't need to, it's like when you look at laundry, right? Detergents.
I look at it all the time.
You see this one big bottle that says it could do 60.
Yeah.
You see this
60.
little tiny bottle that can still do 56.
Yeah.
And you go, what's the difference? Well, they got more water in that one. Well, why ship the water?
That's right.
Because the water is more water, more weight, more shipping, more energy, more plastic. So this company, check it out, Trubin's.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and they've got it even on an auto ship thing where every month or two you can have your product being sent to you, and you get the little cartridge, and they're like $3.95 a piece, basically.
Can you buy it online?
You can buy it online.
You have a website?
They have a website, so go check it out. We'll put the link.
Stick it on the link on the podcast?
Yeah, we'll put it on the link.
Okay.
It's just something that shows like they're dealing with the waste by not creating it.
I dig it, man.
Right? So that's a lot because, that's,
oh my goodness.
that's a smart thing. And that's what we got to look at because, we need to see new solutions.
And those pods, that's really cool.
Yeah. And that's the thing because right now we seem to be trying to innovate towards how to get rid of the waste instead of how to not create it in the first place.
I don't know if you know this, but when you're drinking bottled water, they say that 18% of whatever causes this plastic to be created goes into your body.
Into the water itself.
Into the water
That's
itself,
disgusting.
and then you drink the water, and then now you're getting saturated inside of your body with all these chemical-based things that made the plastic what it is.
Yeah.
So
the water's not maybe necessarily so healthy.
And one of them is cancer-causing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So let me get this straight. We're drinking bottled water. They encourage us to drink more water, more bottled water.
Right.
You go to any convenience store, Quickie Mart, whatever you want to call them, and they're all over the place. Doesn't matter what the name of it is. That byproduct is getting into the water that you're drinking. It's going into the body, and some of it is cancer causing. So why would you drink bottled water anymore?
No, it makes you think that maybe you should just get a filtration system or some,
That's exactly what we're going to get for the office, Rob.
even the Brita stuff that basically, filters out the water, fill it up with because you got to think of those things because
seriously,
people don't think about that and they just drink it because they think they're being healthier. So they got the right idea.
Yep.
But
the cause is tenfold, and it's because it's encased in plastic. So if you have any of these 5-gallon drums or you're getting like we do, we get a bunch of Aquafina, we stick it in our chiller,
right,
and then we drink it as we go. When I'm bending down to grab one in the future,
pouring it in our coffee machine.
Yeah, I'm looking down and going, do I want to keep doing this?
Yeah. So
I think we're going to call our Sparklets guy and say,
something, huh?
Yo, filtration system.
Yeah, maybe hook us up.
Hook us up, baby.
Well, and that's the thing, is just changing, that's good information, but people normally just don't see it.
You don't think about it.
No, you don't think about it. We're tuned into a lot of stuff. I have a lot of news feeds that come to me from a lot of different areas, and that's how we learn about some of these things. But you've got to be aware. Awareness and information is power.
It is.
For us in solar, it's power to help you save money. Who are you getting your news feed?
I get BuzzFeed. I love BuzzFeed.
So I have, believe it or not, Twitter's been a useful. On my personal Twitter, it's been a useful source to getting some things. But on my iPhone, I have an app called Flipboard. And Flipboard is like you create your own magazine.
How cool.
And what you can do is you can go in there and you can define all the different topics you're interested in. Or if you search one down, you can say, add that to my interest list. Oh. And then every morning, you
have new content.
You take a look, and it's tailored to you. I like automobiles. I like green energy. I like this. I like that. I like politics. And it's all just brought together for me. So literally in 10 to 15 minutes, I've got a whole feed of the whole day.
I call it toilet literature.
Absolutely. It's the best, right? You've got your morning constitution.
Oh yeah! Oh Lord! Yeah.
And no, seriously, you can catch up on things really quickly. And then what's nice about it, when you see something that catches your interest, you can click further and do the deep dive into the original articles. And
that's great!
It's super fast.
Flipboard.
It's a great.
Do they have anything for like Samsung guys like me?
Yeah, it's called switching, but no, no, check, because I bet they'd have it
He's
for
an
Samsung.
Apple guy, can you tell?
They probably have it for Samsung as well.
Okay.
But
Flipboard.
I'll show it to you on my phone. It's
Yeah,
super,
okay.
and it's so quick and it's so
Sweet.
easy, and you could read with just flipping one thumb.
Perfect.
Which is perfect.
So back at this plastic issue that we have,
Yeah.
there's some things that, just to kind of, and remember, don't listen to us, do your research.
Yeah.
If you have Amazon Prime, just look at this stuff out there. One of them is called Tapped, not like tapping out. It's TAPPED.
Right.
And that's what goes into these plastic bottles. It'll blow you away. A couple of my other subjects, I won't say all of them, but another one is called Gas Hole.
Now, I'll tell you, I have not seen these yet.
I love it.
But I will watch that just for the title.
And Blue Gold.
Yeah, I'm about to watch that. I saw that was on Prime.
That's
so
the next.
Yeah, you recommended watching that.
Blue Gold, Tapped, and Gas Hole. And then once you start looking at those, you'll see a whole bunch of them that's under it. Circle of Poison, Beyond the Miracle. I mean, there's just,
well, and
a lot of junk out there, unfortunately.
Something that's really important to think about is, in my opinion, is the government, in a lot of ways, fails us.
Yeah, you think?
It's like when the EPA standards were lifted, and auto manufacturers were told, look, you don't have to get cars that are going to get that great of gas mileage anymore. I'm gonna lift that, or I'm gonna extend that. And fortunately, most of the auto manufacturers came back and said, that's okay, we're still going to do it, because they felt some level of responsibility to the planet. I think that's got to be.
I don't have any respect for the EPA anymore.
No, I changed it. You see, I call it the Environmental Polluting Agency.
I love it. Environmental Polluting Agency.
Yeah, it's not the Protection Agency anymore. But it's really going to come down to the government's not going to do shite. Sorry. And if they do, it's going to be a day late and $1 short. And we're quickly approaching a tipping point that one day it could be, adapt or die. So here's the thing. You, as an individual, can make small little habit changes that can actually go ahead and make the biggest changes in the world. All right. So maybe it is how you get your drinking water.
No, it's some of the smallest things we can do. It's like energy efficiency for your home. It's
energy efficiency for your home. And
it's right
guess
in front
what?
of you.
It saves you money while you're saving the planet. How cool is that?
Imagine that.
We're hearing Starbucks is talking about not having straws anymore. And it will take them probably another 5 years to make that. Why does it take so damn long?
It's the red tape, the bureaucracy. Well, first and foremost,
how about a biodegradable straw?
Yeah, do they make something like that?
There is such a thing.
How about this? Go to Google and look into it.
Yeah,
right?
Because the thing is sometimes when bureaucracies happened, and big corporations,
which is every day.
Yeah, big corporations are just like governments. They take what one of the things I liked what Steve Jobs said is he said one of the biggest tricks to Apple, and you see it's $1 trillion company basically, right? Was to have it become that big and still operate like a startup.
I dig it.
Because if it operates like a startup, this giant ship can turn like a speedboat. But our government doesn't know how to do that, nor do most corporations. But guess who can turn quick? You.
Yeah.
You could take a look at your energy bill and say, you know what, if I insulate and put solar, I've made a difference. Maybe I don't get, styrofoam plates. Maybe I've washed my plate, and plastic forks. Maybe I don't do those things. But look at the small stuff, because the thing is this. There's 7.5 billion people on the planet, and if everybody does just a little tiny one thing a day, you make a giant impact on the planet. Or actually the opposite,
sense.
You don't make an impact.
Yeah, right.
Right? Sometimes the biggest impact is making no impact.
No impact, right.
And I think that's really important.
So we talked about the UK. Shame on you. Get out of Malaysia.
Yeah.
Stop polluting that country.
Right.
You're only going to make it worse.
Right.
We talked about plastics in the ocean.
We saw pictures recently
2050
of whales just died and washed up on the beach.
Full of plastic.
Full of plastics.
They had nowhere to go.
No.
They were choking on this stuff.
Yeah.
We got that. And then we're talking about, I'd like to see something cellulose-based, maybe biodegradable.
Yeah.
I think that would be, don't they have biodegradable baby diapers now or something like that?
I would hope so. But, with all the 3D printing and
a lot of shizzle out there, folks.
A lot of stuff with 3D printing and other types of things, we might be able to see new organic materials made that are more, even like we even talked, is there a biodegradable straw? A straw doesn't need to last very long. It can biodegrade in a day or two, a couple days.
You have it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's thrown away.
Exactly.
And nobody else wants to reuse it.
I tell you, I still remember, I told you this story the other day. I remember as a child, and that was quite a while back, considering my age. I remember my parents taking me to this one, it was kind of a park. It wasn't a Disneyland, but it was a theme park type thing. And they had these little Asian candies, and I loved them. They were kind of a gelatin, really kind of nice flavor, but the wrapper was made of rice.
Really?
And what was cool about it is you could eat the wrapper.
Just eat the wrapper.
So you put the candy in your mouth with the wrapper, and it dissolved.
No disposal.
No. So the actual, and even back then I was thinking, hey, that's pretty smart. I don't have to throw anything away. Now that had to be 30 years ago or 40 years ago, probably 40 years ago. Can't imagine we can't be a bit beyond that sort of stuff.
I bet you $100 that they can make a container that's tough enough that will house the liquid involved, so you can, refresh yourself.
Right.
And then, within a certain amount of time, it will biodegrade.
I think maybe what we could do is...
They probably knew about this a long time ago.
Maybe we could throw we've got on our QHI website, we've got the podcasts and so forth. Maybe we can have a page too there where we dump some of these contents and videos for people to just it's kind of a fun thing, and maybe
I'd like to do that.
Maybe even we can work out something where people sign up for a feed or something. We can kind of shoot some information to them in the future, because
they can contribute
at
to
the very
cause.
least too. These are great water cooler stories. Everyone gathers
exactly.
around, hey Bob, hey Janet, how's it going? Hey, did you see this? Because the more we get people talking about these subjects, the better. And for right now, the greatest thing is we're no longer in a place where doing the right thing costs you more money. It actually costs you less. So there's really no excuse.
Get involved.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
Quit sitting on your butt.
Yeah, and get good information. And God knows it, good information's right here. Thank you to the people that are writing in. We're going to go ahead and get you some information, and you probably will hear your topic on one of our next shows soon.
Did we talk about that Pence guy?
Well, I think if anybody wants to know...
Is that even
Here's the thing.
Is it worth talking about?
Yeah, here's the thing. This is a really important... This is an important line. You ready for it?
We're talking about Pence, that's part of the United States government.
The vice president.
The vice president of this country
was on with Jake Tapper.
Needs a lobotomy.
He was on with Jake Tapper, and Jake Tapper was simply asking him to
Simple question, Rob. Simple question.
Simple question. Do you think climate change is a real emergency? Do you think it was caused by, human intervention of what we're doing on the planet? And we watched this individual squirm for 4 or 5 minutes to do everything he could except answer the question.
The king of backpedaling.
Pivot. He's a pivot master. I just watched him he danced around that subject.
Did you see any strings attached to his jaw or his eyelids?
Well, I tell you, it kind of felt symbolically that was there, because you looked at him and said, he's not allowed to say.
He looks like a Charlie McCarthy doll. Look at him.
He's not allowed to say. And then when he would say, well, you can rest assured this administration will follow the science. And Jake Tapper said, no, science is already in. It's us.
Yeah, 97%
of scientists globally.
The entire planet
yes.
says it's our fault.
Yes.
So what are we going to do about it?
Well, you want to hear something even crazy.
Yeah.
So go back. I think I'll find the information. We'll put it out. It's either 2012 or 2009. There was a summit, international global summit on the crisis of climate change. And it called it an emergency, that we've got to deal with this.
When was this?
It was either 2009 or 2012. Okay, so not so long ago.
So they made a great impact since.
Right, but Guess what? Governments and entrepreneurs and big businesses were asked to sign on to it if they felt it was relevant, if they felt this is a true climate emergency.
Seriously? If they felt it was relevant?
Okay, so whoever wanted to be part of this emergency cause put their name to it, saying, I agree, this is an emergency that takes our immediate attention.
Let's do something about it.
Right. So guess who signed it?
Pee Wee Herman?
No, Donald Trump.
And this guy...
Junior, Ivanka.
God.
So there's people that signed this that are today denying what they in the past before they ran for president. All right, I'm sorry, but here's the thing. He had to change his party and change his ways to get where he's at, but this was somebody who believed it enough to sign an emergency declaration that climate change is a problem and we need to address it.
His whole presidency was basically I want to see if I can do it type thing. It had no basis on, I've got, experience in these topics or anything else.
That's what
it was all a challenge.
If you listen to Howard Stern, that's what he said.
Oh, yeah.
Howard Stern
ripped him up really good.
Well, he also says it was part of his idea to tell him your sales are down, your book sales are down.
Yeah.
Just throw out the toss that you might go ahead and run for president, and all of a sudden everything spiked up.
Yeah.
It became a publicity stunt that he took it all the way, but I think he wanted to win just for the sake of winning because he likes to win, but I don't think it
winning.
I don't think it was thought out much beyond that.
What did they say? He made more money in the presidency getting paid than he has in any of his other investments.
Because
is that sickening or what?
Yeah, because for a decade the only income he really had coming in was from The Apprentice. Everything else was failing.
People buy his books just to read his stupidity.
Well, the book wasn't even written by him, but it was a ghostwriter.
A ghostwriter.
And the ghostwriter's also given his 2 cents about it.
Did he take credit for it?
Maybe. Well, yeah, he just said that a lot of what was in there just wasn't anything really original from Trump himself. But the problem is how do we have somebody who not so long ago?
So let's compel the president of the United States.
Well, here's the problem. His tariffs are hurting solar.
Yeah. Go ahead and add another tariff. You got anti-dumping.
Right.
You've got this tax tariff.
And the problem with the anti-dumping is it's hurting large-scale utilities in America from buying American product.
I mean, they got to go overseas, which is, listen, solar is solar is solar. I don't care on the box if it says Pee Wee Herman Solar Company.
Right.
As long as the stuff works and it's got a decent warranty, it's not going to catch on fire when you put it on your roof.
Look, we're very picky.
Do it.
We're very picky, but we can dissect, and we do here.
That's no pun intended, though.
Right. And that's why we carry the panels that we carry. We're very picky.
Solaria. Yeah. Hello.
We're very picky about what we put out there. But when you've got policy that should have protected dumping and actually is influencing it on the larger scale stuff, then you didn't have the right nuance, or you didn't have the right people writing the policy, right? But I think the problem is we're moving backwards instead of forwards. We have an industry that could create millions of new jobs, stimulate our economy, have us lead the renewable instead of follow. We're not even following, but we're going to go back to coal. No, you know what? For the coal worker, I'm sorry. Those jobs are going to be gone. But here's the thing. If we had our government acting right, they would repurpose and retrain and put these people in better paying jobs.
How about veterans, taking our veterans?
Yeah. How about give them a better job in a solar plant or something like that pays better, doesn't give them black lung disease, and
with a 50-year lifespan.
Exactly. And the problem isn't that industries go away. We always talk about that. There's no LP, 8 tracks, cassettes, CDs. It's all gone, right?
Yep.
Right. But if you repurpose mindfully those individuals and move them into hopefully better paying positions even, but because everyone's got families to support, but we can't go back and risk our planet's health on maintaining, industries that shouldn't be maintained any longer.
Here's my thoughts. Mm-hmm. The oil and gas and coal industry, even some of the natural gas people, this was planned out. They all met in this one room.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, how do we screw up solar? How do we get rid of this problem? Let's just do this.
It's competition.
Let's throw a bunch of tariffs at it.
Yeah.
Let's make it too expensive to purchase anymore.
Right.
Let's go ahead and, raise all these rates. Let's install somebody in office, EPA.
Right.
Hello, Walters?
Who is a
He's there.
He's
a lobbyist.
Wheeler, I think.
Wheeler? Okay,
so
Wheeler.
Starts
with the W.
Yeah, he's a coal lobbyist. Now, I know lobbyists.
Into the EPA.
So his whole job as a lobbyist.
How does that happen, man?
His whole job as a lobbyist is to promote coal.
And he was appointed.
Yeah.
So he didn't, by favor, he wasn't elected into that position.
And that's a problem.
Mr. Trump gave him the ability to sit there and to exploit oil and coal. And listen, maybe I'm wrong, and this is just my opinion. Mm-hmm. So if you don't like my opinion, throw it in the trash,
Yeah.
But I fully believe that there's an agenda to this.
Yeah.
their agenda is to railroad the renewable energy industry, get us off this, this 20-year dream that we've been all, hey, renewables,
right.
yee-hee.
Right.
All of a sudden it comes to a crash and they point the finger back at us and they go, see, we told you so.
Right.
This is something that happened a long time ago with all those oil manufacturers. They had electric vehicles. They stuck them in a drawer. They can do this. They stuck that in a drawer. They're doing it again. It's just a different face.
I think personally, it is.
Federal tax credit goes away.
They're not done sucking out every last dollar in profit for the companies
planet.
They're invested in.
Yeah.
They have a serious conflict of interest because of the companies they're invested in.
Well, Vice President Cheney, when he was with the Bush administration,
Halliburton?
He was the vice president of Halliburton. Yeah. Those guys, and there's a law that was created.
Who got all the construction work during
the
that
Halliburton loophole, right?
Yeah.
Is Cheney gone yet?
Hey, no, did you see the thing, too, where they had it was like in Iraq, there was this one loop that this bus would take to just bring people here and there, right? That guy made $80,000 a year driving one little loop that wasn't the size of a racetrack.
Just to make sure that everybody else profited off what they wanted or whatever?
So the problem is we have a lot of conflicts of interest.
Took them to the right places.
We have a lot of older politicians in place that are there and have so many relationships and are owned so deeply.
Yeah, they're owned.
We need to get people in there that are idealistic, that aren't owned by pharma or big oil or anything like that, or at least get an unscrupulous president in there that is in the pocketbook of the solar industry and renewables so we can actually go green and do what's right for our planet. Because I'm sure if the president had those relationships now, we'd have the biggest green deal on the books today.
AOC in New York, God bless her.
Yeah.
I think we need to spread that out to the rest of the United States, get the other 49 states empowered,
right,
and then get a president that is we the people based, not this mind of the agenda based.
I think one of the best things she said is, and you could like her politics or hate her politics, but she did something most people thought was impossible.
As long as she's not owned.
No, and she's not. And that's the thing. That's the thing. She's not. And what she said is, it's time again for average Americans to be represented by average Americans.
It's beautiful words, man.
And I look at here with the business we do here. We love this industry so much. We're not here trying to sell you solar. I mean, it's our business too, and to put it on your roof, right?
Yeah.
But we're not salespeople that work for some marketing arm of some company that's just trying to install and write you a lease.
Right.
We love this stuff, and we love what it does for the planet, and we get to do it and save you money at the same time. Trust me, most of our customers, when they come, they experience a whole different energy here. not to have a pun, energy.
No pun intended.
No pun intended, right? But I mean,
might as well.
And it's because of the way we look at stuff, and we really care about customers. We know we can save you money. We know we could build a thriving economy with the renewable energy, and do what's right by the planet.
A lot of good things said here today, man.
Yeah.
Let's get somebody in office that gives a crap. Let's do that.
Well, my whole thing was we can't effectively address climate change without a leadership change.
Yeah, we got to get somebody else in there.
We cannot look forward with one foot in the past and moving backwards. So it's just how it has to be, unfortunately.
Hopefully people of power, hopefully people of substance, people of integrity.
How about people that are parents and think about not that they're 60, 70, 80 years old and going to die someday here sooner, but they actually have an 18-year-old son or daughter or a 20 or 30-year-old who, she just got pregnant, your daughter got pregnant, and there's another child in the world, and maybe you'd like them to breathe and drink and do something better.
Yeah.
Would you like them to, people say that they always, I work hard so that my kids have a better opportunity than I do. I'm working hard so they can breathe.
Yeah.
And have clean water.
Here's what I would hope for. Anybody that gets into future office, anybody that gets into an office of substance, of course, needs to be, monitored and metered and stuff like that. But anybody that jumps in should not have any political ties whatsoever. They need to be commonsensical people, and they don't have to go to Harvard. No. They don't have to do all this stuff. They just need to be good. They don't have to be an ex-cop. In fact, forget cops. I mean, I love cops, but no.
Because you were, yeah. But, but here's the thing, though. Yeah. You're supposed to divest yourself of any interest as well that you have in any corporation that you can influence.
Anything.
And the president hasn't done that. Yeah. And there's a lot of politicians up there that, we just saw, for instance, they want a pay raise, right?
Yeah.
So they want a pay raise, and you look at someone like McConnell, who's trying to block everything that's green except the green that goes in his pocket. Somehow he makes $170,000 a year, but it's worth $26 million. So something's happening. Or his wife is.
Do you think he's owned?
Well, no. His wife's vested in companies that are benefiting from policy that he's creating.
Oh.
There's conflicts of interest.
Follow the money. Follow the money.
Follow the money always leads you to where you need to get, really. But I mean, you know what?
May her fingers immediately
here's the thing.
Fall off.
It's called public service.
Yeah.
You're there to serve the public and the public's best interest. You're
Somewhere
not there
along the line, they
it's a
changed
job.
that.
Yeah, it's a job, but you're there
They're
because
serving their interests now.
Exactly. And the thing is it's
ridiculous.
You got to put country and people before your own pocketbook. You're not there to profit.
Hey, Rob, let's start a country. Let's do it the right way. I love the United States of America. Trust me, we're one of the best things on the planet.
Absolutely.
But we got a lot of things we got to fix.
Well, and the thing is once things start to unravel, it gets pretty messy pretty quick.
Yeah.
And right now, what really boggles my mind is how we don't think climate change is an emergency.
Yeah.
We've had people tell us our borders are an emergency. No, this is an emergency.
It should be talked about every single day.
Yes.
It should be on the radio. It should be on the news. There should be solutions, not just, hey, 2 more gigatons of ice in Greenland just fell into the Atlantic.
The cool thing here is there are solutions, but the problem is I think people sit back.
Nobody's doing anything.
No, I think people sit back and wait for the government to do something. And let me just tell you, if your health was based on the government, you're dead.
Hey,
so do it yourself.
Remember the gas rationings way back when? They were literally.
Unfortunately,
everybody
I'm old
who's
enough to remember,
baby boomers, they're thinking
every
about
other
it,
day,
right? That's
like
right. And
odd
if you're
and even days.
odd and even days and stuff like that, why don't we do the same with renewables?
We got to do something.
That made a precedence.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, I can't get gas.
But again, here's the thing: people are waiting on the government to do something, and they're not going to do it. And in the meantime,
that's the problem.
We're not here telling you, hey, we want you to go solar.
Yeah.
And when you go solar, it's going to cost you more. That's not what we're telling you.
No.
We're saying when you go solar, it's going to cost you less. So how much more enticing can it be? You're going up 7% a year. You're going to lose 30% tax incentive over the next 4 years, but it's going down by 4% at the end of this year. What more could you want? You're going to own your power instead of rent it.
Right.
I mean, how much better can it get?
I am so proud that the state of Mexico stepped up to the plate and they crushed one out of the park.
Well, you mean the country? Well, Mexico, yeah.
Good for Mexico.
Yeah, I mean that's
right. Rah. I have a buddy out there. His name's Shant. Mm-hmm. He owns this company called Paradise Solar at paradisesolar.com. Yeah. Shant's aggressively working in the solar PV business. Mm-hmm. He's working in the domestic hot water business. He's also got these water generators that pull water out of the air. So it's really, really cool. Yeah. So check him out at paradisesolar.com.
That's cool.
I mean,
when are we opening our office down there? I mean, I'm working on a power plant myself, so maybe we need to get into.
Sean always tells me, man, come on down to Mexico, and you know what? It's time that they finally got put on the map.
Yeah, it's exciting to see this happening, and we've got to see it happening more. And then we've got our own country talking about. The big companies talking about distributed energy where they don't even want to do big power plants anymore. And I'm like, well, what do you... Distributed energy basically means...
It's such a turnoff now.
It's now micro plants that are smaller, or it means you, the public. Yeah. Okay, distributed energy means it's on your roof.
Yep.
It's not in a power plant anymore.
Think about it. The utilities they planned this very well. Instead of buying fields and lands and all these things... The reason that they're now subsidizing this with other EPCs and putting different farms elsewhere, when they came up with that news, hey, you don't have to put solar on your roof anymore. Right. You can just buy it from us and pay an extra 25% a month.
Right. Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Just put it on your roof and save the 25 to 50% a month.
Forget those clowns that are even talking that way.
Well, and then what the utilities are almost doing, it's almost a form of what the government does. It's a P3 model, which is the public-private partnerships.
Yep.
So they won't build the farm, but if someone will go build the farm, they'll sign a 30-year PPA with them to buy the energy, and then they'll be nice enough to sell it back to you. Like Edison will sell you cleaner energy for more money.
Not just for the cost that they paid.
No, it turned out to be
25% more.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, I'm a greenhouse, Rob.
It was about $31 per 100.
I'm a greenhouse, Rob. Yay!
No,
I'm buying my power from Uncle Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
Solar farm.
Right.
And I'm paying $31 per 100.
No, excuse me. It's 21 per 100. So here's
21.
The thing.
That's right.
If you have a $300 bill, you're now $363.
Yeah, and I'm buying it
because you want it clean. Or guess what? Call Quality Home Improvement. Get your $300 bill down to half.
You got a roof, and there's some of those programs that we got right now. Mm-hmm. They're called power purchase agreements.
Yeah.
So the customer does not even have to pay for solar on their roof. We'll cover the cost 100%.
Right.
And all they pay is for the energy that they use.
So the PPA, the nice thing about that is for people that don't want to purchase, or let's say they can't get the tax incentive.
I don't have the money. I don't have the tax incentives.
I'm not going to benefit from the 30%. But you're telling me.
But I want to go solar.
Yeah, because you're telling me I'm cutting my bill down and basically.
I don't want to lease.
No, I don't even really want. No, I don't. Exactly.
And I can't afford it.
And if anything goes wrong, I want someone else taking care of it.
This is the benefits of the power purchase agreement.
Yeah, so basically, it's almost like I'm saying I'm not going to buy from Edison or LEDWP. I'm getting my power from here now.
Isn't that great, man?
And no money out of my pocket, and I'm paying less. And it's locked in.
We can do that in the state of California, Utah, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York. Guess what's coming online next?
I heard the Carolinas are coming on.
Carolinas, Florida, and Nevada.
Yeah.
We can sell energy right now in all those states. Isn't that awesome?
That's fantastic, yeah.
Just call Curtis. He'll be more than happy to call us at the toll-free number 1-800-275-2154, or just send an email to curtisp at QHIINC.com, and I'll explain the program to you.
Yeah.
But why not? Exactly. You don't have to pay for anything.
Well, it's the best way to get involved, right? Is to be the change.
I mean, if you can't do it, but you don't have to pay for it. How about that?
Remember the old saying that be the change you want to see.
Exactly.
And
I totally dig that.
In this case, though, what's going on here really takes people to start getting involved.
Step up to the batter's plate, everybody.
Take control of your life back. Take control of your energy bills. And you're contributing to the entire world, because this whole environmental thing doesn't stop at our borders. What we do affects the rest of the world. What they do affects us. This is a global crisis, and we all need to act together.
Absolutely. Hey, and let's give another shout out to our people over there at
Truman's.
Yeah,
you know what? And we're not. We have no.
We just stumbled upon
these guys. We have no
guys.
arrangement with them. We get nothing for mentioning this. Except
I just
the
thought
fact
it was beautiful
that we've come across them, and we thought it's a great idea. And we want to give shout outs and kudos to people that are thinking disruptively and trying to go ahead and do something good. So I'm ordering my products.
Yep, me too.
And I think we can have them for the office and home.
Is it like Trumans.com or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just do a Google search.
Just do a Google search for it.
Truman's
we'll put
Cleaning
some
Supplies
up.
or something? Yeah, we'll have a link. Okay.
Yeah, we'll put up a link. But I just thought, I just think it's great when you see companies that are trying to treat both the cause and the effect.
I love it.
Yeah. So
can't get enough, right?
Good shout out to them, yeah.
Hey, Rob, thanks a million, man.
Yeah.
Talking about plastics, I know we just hit the tip of the iceberg. It's nothing that there's more stuff out there to talk about it.
And we want to talk about this stuff while there's still icebergs, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Like. All right. I mean,
natural drinking water supplies going down the toilet.
Well, no. I mean, even the global warming thing. I mean, we're looking at losing ice. So, we did hit the tip of the iceberg. Let's keep the icebergs where they belong, and let's slow this. Because anything we can do, people don't understand. 1 to 2 degrees difference, acclimated over year after year, accumulating. We're already getting to that point of tipping, and we might not be able to come back from it unless we start acting really quick.
A good thing to sell probably on the eastern seaboard, where Maine goes all the way down to Florida, probably water pumps, so you can pump the water out of your living room, and maybe it'll blow up boats.
I tell you, it's...
Hey, honey, I'm not going to take the pilot today. I'm going to take the floatable.
See, nobody believes the maps that, because places like Manhattan and a lot of other places are pretty low when it comes to sea level.
Dude, when you pump out 1 billion gallons of water a day in the New York subways, something's got to be wrong, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if people in New York even know that.
Here's the thing, too.
Look what happened to, remember that place just outside of New York, New Jersey, and all those flipping waves and stuff like that monsoon water?
Yeah.
That was just,
well, when you look at
5-10 years ago?
Look, 20 some odd, 30 years ago, we used to get a couple tropical storms a year.
Yeah.
Now we get 17 or 18.
Yeah.
And they're stronger than they ever were. That's not a mistake. There's something that is happening. The good news is, guess what?
Yeah.
There's great news, and the great news is also the bad news. All right, the double-edged sword. The great news is we're completely empowered to change it. The bad news is so far not enough of us are doing what we need to do. But it's within our power to change this outcome. It takes very small little new habits. Get your energy from a different source. Recycle in a different way. Maybe don't buy all the plastics. Maybe get a filtration system in your house instead and use the tap water filtered. Little things, okay? When we had the financial advisor here from Hero the other day, we found out all the things that we were doing to make the house more efficient also saved money and increased the value of the house at the same time. There's so many wins. You just got to investigate it. But
imagine that.
Everyone needs to just do their small part, because there is no smart part when there's 7 billion people on the planet.
And if you're sick and tired of these politicians and these yes men,
take control for yourself.
Taking control over that. Yeah. Impeach these suckers.
That's where
get them out.
That's where you have the power to vote.
We the people, let's impeach these little senators, these little people that are not listening to your concerns.
Right.
You know what happens when you send an email to your local congressman or a senator?
Right.
It goes through. They got filters in place, right?
Sure.
It goes through this kid that's studying to be a lobbyist.
He's an intern.
He's an intern.
He or she's an intern.
It filters through him, and then it goes to a secondary level.
Right.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe a day or two, they get some other college grad that maybe want to be a liar in the future. And then it goes to a third person. But if it ever gets to that person's desk, it's been watered and filtered down so bad.
So here's the thing.
There's like 12 words on your email versus the 1,000 that you wrote.
Here's part of the thing. There's two things here. A, are they listening?
No.
Okay.
No.
But B, are they being spoken to? And I don't think, here's the thing.
People are afraid to tell them.
Wherever you live, we live in California, you can Google this in 2 minutes. Find out your local, for your city or your county, find out your local congressperson.
And
call them. The phone number's right there.
Man.
Now, let me tell you, they start receiving hundreds of phone calls every day that these topics are important to you, and they have to take notice. The problem is everyone talks more than they walk.
Yep.
And what we need to do is, at this particular time, because we're kind of at that critical mass point, what we need to be doing is we need to be going and taking action. Call them, email them, mail them a letter. Remember letters? Flood their departments with concerns. And let me tell you, if enough of us do it, they will. Here's the one thing that they fear more than anything: losing their seat.
You know what? And if you can't do that, when you vote next time, get them the hell out of there.
Yeah. Because the one thing, though, that they don't want to do is they don't want to lose their job. They don't want to lose their seat. And they will have to eventually address the issues that seem to be the hottest topics.
Just like the city of Fontana where I live.
No pun intended, hottest topic while we're talking about climate change.
I love it. City of Fontana where I'm at, just down the road, maybe a couple of miles, and even the New York Times wrote a story. There was over 1,000 earthquakes in my city.
It's earthquake central right now.
And today we're going to have a council meeting at the council. They give you that 3 minutes you can talk.
Right.
But we're going to hammer them with, hey, you're our city officials. Go find out what's making these things happen, because we want to put something in place that, helps our structures and foundations of our homes.
Sure.
Because wouldn't that be horrible in 10 years to find out, we should have did something about that, but because we didn't, your house is falling down.
There's something,
and your value went down the toilet as well.
And all you have to do is go to Caltech. You take a look at the map of the earthquake. It's a cluster so tight right in Fontana.
Dude, there's over 1,000.
Yeah, and that's up from like a month or so ago. There was already 700. So I mean, it's crazy.
It's unfortunate,
But you're going to go get involved.
Yeah. I'm getting involved, and I'm going to lay them out. Yeah. And guess what? I'll run for city mayor or a council person spot, and everybody that's listening should listen to this. Why don't you take your cojones and jump in?
The cool thing is, and that brings you back to
Don't talk about it.
That brings you back to someone like AOC,
Get involved.
Right?
She did. She's great.
The one good thing that's happening is we're seeing a bigger turnout of people wanting to get involved in politics and just trying to write the course. You know, so this whole idea that you're an individual and you can't make a difference. That's wrong.
That's where you start. You go to your council meetings. You send your congressperson.
Be heard.
You want to be heard,
Absolutely.
and then you want to have results.
Absolutely.
If you can't get results, next election, you need to get that person out of that seat. And you know what? If the next guy doesn't listen, get him out of there too. And why not run for office?
Yeah, these men and women have to always
start somewhere.
Reminded of why we put them in there.
That's right.
For what topics, and that we're gonna see what happens. Even
we elected you because of ABC.
But what happens a lot of times is we go ahead and then all of a sudden we go, oh, our person won. They're in there, and then guess what? We forget about them for 2 to 4 years,
and he gets bought.
Yeah. So, but the thing is it's our job as well.
Hopefully, it'll
we're part of. Yeah, we're part of the governing.
Yes.
I want to see. I want to see some younger voices get in there too, who are going to be around long enough to suffer the tragedy of their bad mistakes.
Yeah, you don't have to be 84 to apply.
No, but you know what I mean, right? You get some younger people there that go, this is going to take 30 years before it's really bad, and my decision. Well, I'm going to still be alive. I better change that.
I'm 24, and maybe I should make a difference.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and you know what?
I'd hang out with some of these young. Brilliant minds.
There's a lot of young, very talented minds, and you know what? I'm all for idealism too. People say, "Well, that can't work." Yeah, it can.
Absolutely,
it can.
Hey, we're getting proof up there in the Bronx right now, baby.
There you go.
Right? Let's do something about it. Hey, Rob, thanks a million, man. Appreciate you.
Same here, man. Always
fun. We'll do
fun.
Something later on. We'll figure out what the next topic is.
Yeah.
You're going to call that lady to see what her gripe is all about. And we're going to expose these scams.
Yeah.
And lay them out like we should.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Thanks again,
everyone.
buddy. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
The Energy Hour was brought to you by...
Got your latest electric bill? Is it less than last month or last year? Probably not. But if you had a solar system from QHI, it would be. Your electric meter could be running backwards. Right now, get a QHI system installed for no money down, no out-of-pocket expenses. Get an immediate savings on your electric bill. Call 909-609-5437. Solar is all they do. Call QHI 909-609-5437.
For beauty, efficiency, and power, the only product we know in the solar industry is Solaria.
Maximum power.
For nearly 25 years, Solaria has set the pace for solar panel performance, efficiency, reliability, quality, and design.
Maximum power.
Solaria continues to leverage its patented technology, engineering expertise, and sophisticated automation into creating one of the most attractive, energy-efficient solar panels available on the market today.
Maximum power.
What really defines home solar? How about Solaria? Quality you can trust for your home or business. Solaria is the new benchmark for solar energy. Where do you get this panel for your home or business? Go to QHIinc.com. That's QHIINC.com/Solaria. SOLARIA.
Thank you for listening to The Energy Hour. Visit them on the internet by going to QHIinc.com/TEO. That's QHIINC.com/TEO.